Hey everyone, welcome back to AndyDemos. Today I'm excited to finally show you the Empress Effects ParaEQ MKII. This one has some great updates and a nice small enclosure, so let's check it out and then get into the sounds. The ParaEQ MKII builds on the extremely powerful and prized ParaEQ, which I showed you way back in 2009. After a period of being discontinued, which drove prices up on the used market, Empress decided to bring back their Parametric EQ in a new and improved form factor, with all the previous features, plus many more. Starting with a 9-volt DC power supply, this pedal internally converts it to 27 volts for high headroom that avoids clipping and low noise across the board. The input signal is run through 3 familiar bands that span bass, mid, and treble ranges for any instrument. The Deluxe version you see today has an adjustable Q width, which helps fine-tune the shape of those peaks and valleys and nearby frequencies that are affected. The center frequency of each band is then selected and boosted or cut by 15 decibels. This powerful shaping gives you anything from extreme cocked wah effects to subtle tone enhancements of pickups, other pedals, or even feedback elimination. Plus, the 30 decibel clean boost is now foot switchable and can be tied to the bypass switch or be completely independent by using the advanced configuration mode. Finally, the Deluxe version offers high and low pass shelving. These gentle Baxandall filters are a great addition for those looking to limit the rumble of a cabinet, knock down any high frequencies past a certain point for old school warmth, or just give your tone a final stage of filtering to match with different amps and applications. As always, Empress effects are built with high standards in Canada, and you can find all the information on both versions of the ParaEQ MKII at empresseffects.com. Let's start off with the band that is probably most crucial for guitar, and that's mid-range. I'm not going to be using any other boost, and I have those shelf filters at the end just completely wide open so we're not limiting the scope of anything. We'll start around 600 hertz, and we'll boost and cut in that range, and also play around with the Q width because that really has an effect on the shape of your band, but also the surrounding frequencies you're affecting. So I just want to point out it's completely transparent here because we're not boosting or cutting, and I have it set up for buffered bypass, so we're not going to be losing anything while the pedal is bypassed. So that's that full 15 decibel boost, around 600. Actually, we went a little bit higher to get that vocal, cocked wah sound. Let's play around with the Q width while we're here. While we're here, let's just engage the boost and get that full, Mick Ronson cocked wah effect. So a couple things to point out. Obviously a huge boost, and I wasn't using any other drives, and we were going through a fairly clean amp, which is the Hampstead Artist 60. Now when I moved the Q down to the wider shape, you actually are affecting more lows and mids. You probably heard it kind of beef up the tones. Let's go the other way, and it's going to be a lot more precise, kind of a surgical application of parametric EQ, so it's not going to be quite as noticeable. Let's try scoop sound. So that's a great example of not even touching the bass frequencies, but we got a nice fat scoop sound. And when you bypass the pedal, you probably noticed it was just that classic warmth, but it kind of lost a lot of detail. So having mids and treble to play around with, and the Q width is a really great thing to have here. Now let's get back to bass, and I'm going to stick on the neck humbucker and tighten things up by reducing bass frequencies. Now we're just backing off around the 80 to 100 hertz, just going to get rid of some of that woofiness. And I was only backing off on the bass just a few decibels, and a little bit goes a long way, especially when you pair it up with that clean boost. So there you go, still a fat sound, but really a lot more detail on the low end just because we're backing off a little bit of those low frequencies. Let's take a minute and focus on the high and low shelves for a minute, and this is a feature that's only on the Deluxe version you see here today. Now it's a great way to kind of set the stage of your extreme frequencies from low to high, and if you have a really bright amplifier, you might want to just kind of limit everything, say over 10K. Let's try that out, and then dial in some other high frequencies from the treble band. Now I've just lowered the gain so it's a more extreme slope. If you kind of think of a graph, how you're rolling off some high frequencies, it's taking a lot of the upper mids as well with it at this point. And we could still enhance some frequencies with the treble band like I mentioned earlier. There's just so many applications. What I've shown you so far is just kind of the basics. Let's try to revoice this bridge humbucker. It's a pretty twangy guitar even with the humbucker in here because we have that 25.5-inch scale length. So I'm going to limit the overall treble to around 3K with that shelf, and I'm just going to boost a little bit of mid-range and also back off on some of the treble on the high band as well. A little bit of boost after it, just to kind of fatten things up further. Let's just take off that shelf just to give you an idea of what it was before. One of the things I loved about the first ParaEQ was its ability to change the voicing or enhance other overdrive or dirt pedals, especially when you place them after, because it doesn't change the feel and the character of the drive you have. It's just kind of doing a subtle tone enhancement after the fact. For this example, we have a classic screamer style overdrive with the plumes from Earthquaker devices, and all I'm going to do is kind of fatten up the low end further, which is really going to help with these single coils. Well, that's a look at the ParaEQ Mark II. Some really great improvements and a smaller form factor, plus that foot switchable clean boost, which is great. You can find out all about the Mark II version in the Deluxe and Standard versions at EmpressEffects.com. Thanks for watching.